we're going to be talking about is how to minimize the mistakes that are being made. And I think some of the mistakes are being made because, one, we just don't know. We don't know how, and we don't know when. And so we have mistakes happen in our teaching because we just don't know. And then the second part is we don't want to discourage our kids in learning. And so because of that, we don't stop them in what they're doing and correct them. So what we want to talk about today is why it is so important to start off at the beginning correctly, what that correctly looks like, and some of the problems that can occur if you don't start correctly from the beginning. So, if you're just joining me, my name is Heidi and I'm the creator of ABC Jesus Loves Me preschool curriculum and Bible website. So one of the main issues that I see in images of kids that parents and teachers send to me, or even that I see just out on the internet, is their improper hold of writing utensils. And what we're going to talk about is why that improper hold is happening and how it can negatively affect the children. What I want to talk about first is it is so important that you prepare a child to be able to hold a pencil before you ever put a pencil in their hand. And you prepare them in those fine and gross motor activities. And the ABC Jesus Loves Me curriculum every week has a fine and gross motor activity to build those muscle strengths. The fine motor are those smaller muscles, that holding, that bending, that moving, all of those things that your fingers do. The gross motor is more with the core strength, with the larger muscles. And the core strength, the arm strength, the finger strength are all required for a child to be able to do handwriting, which is the goal that we have. That is why it is so important that you not skip those fine and gross motor activities every week. They are written to be fun and to be age appropriate. So be sure that you're doing those each week and several times throughout the week. Secondly, make sure that your child is sitting properly when they are playing. And one of the things that you'll hear me talk about is W sitting. And I made a picture here to help you understand what I'm talking about. Okay, when a child is sitting, you want to make sure that their bottom is seated and their feet are in front. If they're W sitting, their knees are in their front and their feet are on the back and their bottom is on the floor. This W sitting is very harmful for kids as it does not use their core strength. So be careful that your child is not W sitting. Remember, here are their knees, the feet are in the back. Make sure your child is not W sitting, and instead their feet are in front. And what I would encourage you to do is, as your kids are playing, just remind them, feet in front, feet in front. And the reason is, just like I said, is because the gross motor, those core muscles, need to be strengthened as the child plays, because that's going to play into how well they can hold a pencil. I know it's crazy, but it really, really is true. Second of all, what we want to do is we want to prepare the child's hand to hold a pencil. And what we're going to use to prepare them are broken crayons. Broken crayons, I know as adults we're going, no, we don't want them to be broken. But for kids, they are the best thing, because a broken crayon requires the child to hold the crayon properly, to hold it in what we call a tripod grasp. So in the one-year curriculum, when the kids are still young and they don't have a tripod grasp yet, we're going to use jumbo crayons, or we're going to use egg crayons. And egg crayons are just a crayon that's in the shape of an egg that a child can just grasp and draw. And you're going to see that they're going to draw with their entire arm, and that's age appropriate. But then as the child grows, in the 2-year curriculum, we're going to switch over to broken crayons. And with a broken crayon, you will see that because it is short, you have to hold it with an alligator chomp or the tripod grasp. And an alligator chomp is where we pinch the writing utensil and then we lay it down on that third finger. And this tripod grasp is the best option for children. Now, I know there are some of you watching that do not use a tripod grasp. You maybe hold the pencil in different ways, but what is best for the child is a tripod grasp. It will keep the child from having their hand cramp, their fingers cramp, and from their fingers getting tired from extensive writing. So make sure from the very beginning you are teaching the child the tripod grasp. And the best way to do that is to use a broken crayon. So let me show you a few ways and why that is so important. A tripod grasp, as I said, is where you chomp on the pencil and then you rest it on that middle finger, and these two fingers, your fourth and fifth finger, are bent in, they're curved in. So the only things holding the pencil are those first three fingers. These are your strongest fingers, thus they have the most ability to control the pencil well. And so when you hold that pencil incorrectly, let's use an example of this. That would be an improper hold of a pencil. And the reason why, again, is because that tripod grasp is so much stronger and you have so much more control. If I try to do that with a crayon, I can't because the crayon's not long enough. So I will automatically stop that hold. Another hold I see kids do is they try to balance the pencil on their pinky. The pinky is a very, very weak finger. We don't want to put that much stress on the pinky. Again, with a broken crayon, it's not going to be long enough to get it to the pinky. So that is why the broken crayon is so important. All right. Once you have worked in the 2-year curriculum with the children with broken crayons, they're going to be building their strength. You're also doing the fine and gross motor skills activities. You're going to begin in the 3-year curriculum to place, or in the 4-year curriculum, you're going to begin placing pencils in their hands. In the 4-year curriculum is when they're going to start using pencils. And with that pencil, again, we're going to use that tripod grasp. We're going to alligator chomp and rest. And the other 2 fingers are going to be tucked in. We want to make sure that we're holding the pencil in the correct place. I see some pictures of kids holding their pencil clear up here. And if you have a pencil or a pen close to you, grab that and try to write clear up on the pencil. And you find that it's very hard to control the pencil. And you think about it, if I were to place a huge pencil like this in your hands, think about how hard it would be to control if you're not holding that pencil in the right place, because your weight is not distributed correctly. So we're going to hold our pencil with a tripod grasp right where the end of the sharpening happens. So where that brown end that has been sharpened is typically where I tell the kids to hold their pencils. And again, we're using that tripod grasp because that is what is best for the child. One way to help the child have a tripod grasp is to use a pencil grip. And this is a very, very simple one that I got on Amazon. They are very inexpensive, but they can really help kids. And there's lots of different options. This one just happens to be my favorite, and it's also the least expensive, so I like that. A pencil grip is going to go right on the end of their pencil. Again, you don't want it too far up. What you may want to do is put the pencil grip on the end of the pencil, and then you hold the pencil and write with it and see if it feels right. If it doesn't, then you might need to change something. But the pencil grip's going to go there, and the grooves are where the fingers are going to go. And so then it will sit right where it's supposed to, and then those other 2 fingers are going to be curved in. And then what I also want to talk about today is helping you make sure that your child is sitting at an appropriate size table. I see so many people show me pictures where their child is sitting at their kitchen table. And the table is coming up to them above their chest, and they're trying to write, and you notice how high their shoulder is? It's too high for them to do well. So what we want to do is we want to have the child sitting at an appropriate angle. And what I encourage you to do is to purchase a child-sized table. And that is a table that's only going to be about 2 feet off the floor. Their chairs are going to be sturdy. They're going to be able to sit under the table with their feet flat on the floor. And that is so important for the child to be able to be successful in their writing. Also, you want to make sure that their arm, wrist, fingers, and elbow are on top of the table while they're learning to write. That will help secure everything that they're doing. So make sure that their fingers, their wrist, their arm and elbow are on top of the table. Don't let the elbow be off the table. You want to bring it up closer, and that will help them have more control. Then as those muscles build and as they learn how to have that proper hold on a pencil, it's going to strengthen, and pretty soon they can just have their wrist on the table or on a clipboard, so that when I write, all I need here is just my wrist on that book, until you get to the point where you can do less and less. So we're going to make sure that the table is the appropriate size. If you do not have a child-sized table, go ahead and use your kitchen table, but have the child sit on his or her knees so that they are higher. Basically what I'm looking is, can their arm be at a 90-degree angle? That's what I want. Can their arm be at a 90-degree angle while they are writing? The next one in the 4-year curriculum is when the child is going to start actually writing the letters. Well, let me back up. Actually, halfway through the 3-year curriculum, the child starts writing their name. And so when they're writing their name, it is very important that the child writes from left to right, just like they're going to read from left to right. So let's take the letter A right here, the letter A, and you see that I have the dots drawn. And as the child writes that letter A, we're going to say pull down, across, pull down, across. And you notice I started on the left side, pull down, then I go to the right side, pull down, and across. And one of the things in the new edition of the curriculum is rainbow writing. And rainbow writing is where you can use the exact same sheet of paper many, many times. So I did it with blue first. Now I'm going to rainbow write with a red. Again, a broken crayon. And I'm going to say as I write, pull down, across. And you can do it multiple times in the red. And then do an orange. Pull down, across. And over and over, the child is practicing how to write that letter. And you don't have to have tons of sheets of paper, just one, over and over. Pull down, across. And remember to always work from left to right. The last mistake that I see many teachers and parents making is with scissors. And I did an entire video and blog series on how to teach children to use scissors. But I want to cover just a couple of points that I'm seeing specifically in the images that are being shared with me. First of all, when you're using scissors, thumbs are always up. Thumbs are always up when you're using scissors. And one thing that you can do to help the kids remember this is draw a smiley face on their fingernail or put a sticker on their fingernail. The thumbs are up, and you can remind the child, can you see that sticker? Can you see that thumbnail? Can you see that smiley face? The second thing is that the elbow is always down, or the elbow is in. And let me show you an example of what I mean. Because what happens when a child is cutting with scissors and cutting a square out, They cut forward, open, close, and then what happens when they get to the corner? The elbow comes out, and they want to cut some more. But the elbow is not involved in this process. That elbow is going to stay right beside the body. And so we're going to cut. Now when I come to the corner, I'm going to open my scissors, turn the paper, and then continue cutting. We want our non-dominant hand and the paper to do the work, not the scissors. The scissors stay in a consistent movement of opening and closing. That's all they do, and that elbow doesn't move. So thumb up, elbow in. Thumb up, elbow in.